Today we are going to learn about 3D in AutoCAD, how to create any 3D model and how coordinate will help you to create your 3D models very easily. So we'll look into that. All the details we will start looking into. So first of all, what you need to set is the view. As per the view, we will see our three dimension together. So first of all, I'll be setting my view either with this view control menu or with this view cube. Okay, so for uh, setting any isometric view with this view cube, you have four corners, four top corners of your view cube. So as per that, you will have your isometric view. So this is your SW, that is southwest isometric. So this is the mostly used isometric view as because this will help you to give the three main views together, top, front and left. And again, you can go for like southeast for if you need top, front and right. You can go for northeast for top, right and back, and like that you can choose northwest for top, back and left. So let's go for southwest, and we have two projection. You can choose parallel projection and your perspective projection. So if you choose perspective projection, then you will see within this virtual environment you will see horizon and sky, and you will see that all the points within your geometry and the geometrical points are meeting at the horizon. So you can choose the projection as per the requirement. So right now let's go with the parallel projection. So you will see no matter you will change your view, but you will see the projection plane all over. That is the projection plane will always be parallel to the screen, and as per the view it will be parallel. And here, as I have changed it, I will set SW isometric again. Now I need all the tools to be handy for my work purpose. So you remember that I have workspace, and 3D modeling will be the right workspace. You can choose 3D basics as well if you're working with some basic modeling. So we can choose 3D basics. So here you can see that some basic, very basic tools are available and very less amount of tools are available. So for basic modeling and basic work in 3 dimension, we don't need that much of tools. And when you are creating any complex model or any real model, so for that, we need some modification tools and some tools which will help you to create your model very easily. So for that, we will have this much of tools, and 3D modeling will be the right workspace. So first you have to set this. And now let me talk about the coordinate systems in 3 dimension. So for 3 dimension, you have like cylindrical coordinate system and spherical coordinate system. Okay, so that both can be absolute and relative. You know the difference why it is absolute and why it is relative. So let me show you about the cylindrical. So for that, let me create a cylinder first. So be attentive. So first I'll be mentioning one center, and then you see I'm specifying another point, and from the center, the distance of that another point will define the radius of that circle, right? So let's go for another point. So in 360 direction, I can define another point at any particular angle. That will not change the radius value, only the distance will change the radius value. So let's go and define. And then I will provide the another point in Z direction that will give the height to create cylinder, right? Okay, so this is how we generally create cylinder. And if I change this visual tile to realistic, and there you can see this is the cylinder which we have created. Now the same option, if I try to create with, so let me go and create the first point, and if I try to calculate the values from this point, then I'll press at the rate and I'll make it relative, and at the rate, then what I'll do is the next point, about the next point, so where it will be placed about the next point. So you can provide the coordinate value. Okay, so like let's go with 5, and then comma, then uh, the next value, so that you can place sorry, just a second, uh, go with the line and specify the first point, and after that at the rate. So the next point you will specify uh, like the distance you can specify. So what will be the let me go with 5, and then at any angle, any particular angle, you can go with that. So like let me go with 30, and then comma, and then the Z height. Okay, so the Z value will be like 5 and press enter. And then you can see that it has created line like this. Okay, so how it is created? So from this point, the first formula, that is at the rate distance and then the angle, that is, let me create that with this point. Okay, then you can easily understand at the rate 5 and less than 30, and then press enter, and that is this one. And then you give the height. So let me delete it at this point at the rate. Now let me go with the lesser value 2, and then you can go for uh, the less than, and then any particular value, and then the comma, then at the height where it will be placed. Okay, so how it works, let me tell you that. So when you have defined this point, the another length, within that you have provided that angle, and from that angle the another point is set to 5. So as per that, it has taken that from top, and here you see it has created like this. So from this, at this 30-degree angle, so it has created like this. Okay, can see. Let me just create this one and another line. Okay, so now distance. Yeah, so this is the distance 2 which I have provided, and then goes up 30-degree from this plane. Okay, and the distance is 5 from that. Okay, so like that, it has created the 30-degree angle. So this angle is lifted from this XY plane. If I show you from the right view, then you can see this is the angle 30-degree. This is the angle 30-degree which I have provided. Okay, and the height is 5. The height is 5. Okay, so this it is created. You can simply go with the normal value, that is absolute. You can simply go with x coordinate value and y coordinate value and z coordinate value, that will be the absolute. And now let me show you the spherical coordinate. Okay, so first of all, let me show you how a sphere is created. So circle, from this circle, here one circle is created. So you know how a circle is created, one center and then another point. Okay, now let me come back to front view. Okay, and here let me change it the coordinate value. So let me change the, so here you can see that right now this is the xz plane. Now I'll be aligning my xy plane to the front. Now you can see this is the front right now, so that I can create one circle over there. Okay, so let me go with 2 point. The Let me check. In just a second, let me go with the center radius. So in this plane, I'm giving like the radius point in the z direction, right? So that will be with the angle, the distance and with the angle, as because I'm providing in the circular manner, means in the 360-degree, right? Right. So that I'll be providing. Now I don't have that value, so I'll go with the random value. Okay, so it will be created like that, right? So let me just check what is the radius value, that is 1.47. So I'll make it 1.47. Right, so it will be like that. And here let me get back my world coordinate back, and I'll align to the right again, and it will be the same for creating in this plane. Go with the center and then the radius value, that is 1.47. So your sphere will be created like this way, right? It will be a sphere. So this method you can apply for creating uh, any line. So let me align it to world coordinate system back, and let me choose delete, and let me get back my SW isometric there. Okay, now see that from this is the origin, means this is the center point right now. So at the rate, then you will provide the radius value so that you can place it at any angle. So let's go with at the rate and 2, and then you can provide either 0 degree. So let's go with the 0 degree first, and then at the rate 90 degree. So let me show you that and enter, and that I have created. So how I have created? So it is like from this point I have provided 2. Okay, and from this 2 means this is the end point, the quadrant point. Yeah. So this point, from this point, it came 90 degree to this point, to this point. Okay, I hope you understand, right? So the point is defined in the Z direction, and this how I have created. Now let me show you in another line, the same value but different angle. So this is the start point right now, and this was 0 degree. Now I'll go with 30 degree or any other angle. So like that. So this in this direction. So let me go with at the rate 2, and then less than 30 degree, and then less than any other angle like 45, and let's press enter. And now you see that it is created in this direction. So this is, let me go with the top value right now, and this is 30 degree from 0. And if you check this plane, this is 45 degree. This is 45 degree from your XY plane. All right, so this way we will create. So this is your spherical coordinate system, and you apply relative spherical coordinate system. Yeah, please go with your question.
Sir, at first line, that was 2, angle was 0 and 90 degrees. So it means there is no that line does not belongs in Y space.
So you provide 2 point, right, for
Yeah.
creating any line segment, right? So first point you have already created, and specifying the another point, what you did, you first created the base with the at the rate 2, and the, let
0 and
me,
you said.
yeah, let me create you and let me rotate for you now. So let me first create which one, at the rate 2 and less than 0, right? Enter. And now if you rotate this in this 90 degree,
Hmm.
you will have this vertical line,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
that you have provided. So the
No,
where it
actually,
will
I
meet
to say
at
that
this point, you have
yeah.
specified the other point with this. So what is the distance? You have provided the distance this way, that you will get this point at is at the Z direction.
Okay.
So you will go towards 0 degree 2 and then 90 degree.
Okay.
This way you have mentioned.
It
You
means
can
like
go
if
with this. You can go like straight. You can go for it. So like for that, you can just simply apply x, y, and z. Simply you can apply x comma y comma z, that you can simply apply. Okay. So if it is the first, what is the value? You can see that uh, 5.2. Okay. So just note this down. 5.2474 comma 5.9637.
A1.
and yeah,
Uh,
and then comma 2. So then you will have that vertical line. Understood? So let me type for you like 5 point, sorry, uh, just a second. Let me get back to, yeah,
five
uh,
two four
5.2474,
five
then
point
comma 5 point
9837. I think
in 637,
9637.
and then comma the Z value, that is 2, and press enter. And you see that it's coming with that color. X, red is for X,
Mm.
green is for Y, and blue is for Z. And you press enter, and you see at that top you got the first point of your line. You see,
Mm. Yeah.
right? And at this XY plane, at this XY value, you go with the next point, like 5.2474, and then comma 5.9637, and press enter. Okay, so it has taken at the rate, so it shouldn't be at the rate. So right now, you say that your dynamic input is on, and by default, it will take the relative. Even if you don't provide the at the rate, it will take relative if your dynamic input is on. So, what to do if you want to put absolute value? Then what to do? So then press hash in the prefix if you want to put absolute value, keeping your dynamic input on. Then press hash in the prefix, and then the same value 5.2474 comma 5.9637, enter, and there you can see. So you can simply provide this point with the normal absolute coordinate, and you can provide this line with the spherical coordinate as well, and with the cylindrical coordinate as well. Okay. So as I have mentioned that how you do your cylindrical coordinate, how you create a cylinder. So first what you do is specify the center point or the first point, and then the next point within this XY plane in 360-degree, and then another point in the Z direction. For that you just provide that point value. So what I'll do, I will for what I'm doing is, for cylindrical coordinate system, I'm mixing. You can just understand this way to easily understand. I'm providing you layman's language, that I'm mixing polar coordinate system and 3D absolute coordinate system together for cylindrical coordinate system. And for spherical coordinate system, you see there are two circles, so that means it is both polar. So I'm mixing polar all together for uh, spherical coordinate system. So this is a simple way of understanding. You can understand like this way also.
Okay. Okay.
And let me show you that a cylindrical coordinate system. So this is the first point which I've mentioned. And for the next point, I'm mentioning the next point. You know that for this line segment, I'll provide two point for creating the segment. So first point I have already mentioned, and it will go at the rate as because this dynamic input is on, and then go and specify the two, the value or the length, and then specify any angle. Let me go with the 45, and then it will go with the height, which will be from XY plane origin. Okay, so then you will go with the comma, and then you will provide the height. As because you have provided at the rate, so it will take count from that point. Okay, So let's go with 5 and press enter. Okay. So now you will see that it has taken 45 degree, and then it has taken uh, 5, the distance. Let me change it to the right, and then you can check. Sorry, just a second. So this is 6 degree right now. You see this line is created like this way. Just a second. So it has the 6 degree difference in this way. It is not taking, just a second. Let me show you in this manner. Like, let me create one line in the 5. And how much distance I have provided. So I forgot it. Let me just create it again from this point. Let me create it again. So that I'm going to mention with the cylindrical coordinate system. So at the rate, let's go with a bigger value, 7, and then can go with 0, and then the next is less than. Just a second, just a second. At the rate, let me go with 7, and then less than 0 degree, and then comma. Let's go with 2 right now, and let's press enter. Enter. And now from this point, you see that from this point, this is the distance for your 7, and from that point it has taken that height. Okay, I hope right now it is easy to understand. So it has like from this point goes 7, enter, and from this point it goes to enter, like this. I hope now it is understandable. So you have defined this line in which angle it will be placed, and from that it will go in the Z direction.
Yes.
Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, hello.
Sir, I'm Unmesh. Sir, could you please just explain these things in sentences by providing us the notes?
So for that, I will provide one Word document. I have to write it.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Yes, sir. So because it's getting a little bit of a confusing thing.
Yeah, yeah, right, 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 right.
Because
Uh,
the coordinate
mhm.
systems means that is creating a problem for me. I think that it would be like that for others too.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I can understand. I can understand your point. So it's like that. You have to imagine that cylinder and the sphere both.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
to understand it very well, you have to understand that first how you creating your cylinder. You say that first I am creating this base as circle. So for circle, how I'm creating? I'm creating my center. Then I'm defining another point, right? So that is defined. So for that, in this, just imagine this 360-degree, this circle has a 360-degree. So I can define the point, which is the radius point, in this 360-degree, right? And from that, I'm providing the z direction. From that point,
Ye-
I'm providing the z direction, and it
Yes, sir.
taken the uh, taken the line. Okay, in that direction. Yes, I will definitely provide you all the sentences in a
No,
Word
sir, this one is
format.
clear. This one is clear, but the another one in which you were trying to means explain with the help of that copyright thing, now. So that was a little bit confusion.
Okay, forget that. I just made it confusion. Uh, okay, I will provide you definitely.
Thank
Just
you,
a
sir.
second. Let me connect with the charger. Let me connect with the charger.
Sure, sure, sure.
Hello. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, now let me continue. And let me show you about the another one. So for that, we have another circle, right? So that is your spherical coordinate system. So the spherical coordinate system, you have to understand the sphere, how it is, the sphere form. So that I'm making you clear with this circle, with this 2D diagram. And in this XY plane, we have that circle. And you know how one circle is created. And we have another circle in Z direction, another radius point we have in this Z direction. So imagine this circle in 360 form, in this 360 direction. Now let me create it with this formula. So the center point is created, and then the uh, radius point for your base in this XY plane you will be defining. So for that you can go with at the rate, and then you can define like 2, and then at the rate 45. Let me go with that simply. And that is the line you generally create in 2D polar coordinate, right? And from that you can give another angle. From that you can give another angle in either xz direction or yz plane. So it's like in z direction you are giving another angle for having the point. Okay, so it will like this point will go up in this point will be the hinge, and this point will uh, go up like that. So let me provide you with the line, and same at the rate 2 less than 45, and then you provide the angle that will be taken in the z direction. And now let me provide 90 degree, right? 90, enter, and that you can see. Okay, as because it is 90, so it will not make any difference. But if it is not 90, so let me go with that at the rate 2 and less than 45, and then less than like 30 degree, and enter. And now you see that you have created first 2 at the rate 45 in this direction, and this goes 30 degree in this z direction, and this how your spherical coordinate system works. Okay, so you can apply all this to create any line or any 2D with 2D lines and 2D elements. You can create any 3D form. Now let me show you that these are the coordinate option is there. And at the beginning, I have mentioned you that XY plane is the default working plane. Whatever you will be making, it will be created at XY plane. So suppose you want to create a front view. As per the front view, right now you say that this is XZ. This is right now XZ. I cannot create anything in XZ plane, right? So I have to align my XY plane with the front view. So for that, I have this option here. I'm aligning it. So if I choose front, so right now it will be XY. And as per that, you are having the top of your view cube, and here the actual view is the front view. Okay, as per the UCS, that is your front view. Okay, sorry. As per WCS, this is front view, and as per UCS, it is right now top view. Okay, so you are aligning it with the left. You can align it. Okay, so if you want to get back the world coordinate system that you are having it, and you can choose left, Just a second. First set the left view and then go for this left and then you will have it. Okay, that is the XY plane right now. That will be the top view. So your XY plane will be visible from the top that you are aligning it. So you can change this with the other options. Like, let me go with this. And here you have this 3 point. So you can specify your origin. You can specify the origin and what will be the X direction. So the first point you have mentioned, and the second point will be for X direction, and another point will be for Y direction. And as per that, your Z will be perpendicular with all of this, all the other two axes. So you don't have to mention Z. Right now, you see this how you have changed your XZ position, and you can change your XY direction as well. Okay, so right now this is your XY plane right now. So you can use this three. Now let me change it to world again. And we have this Z. So you will be mentioning your origin point and then you will be just changing the Z. So other two will be perpendicular with the Z. Okay. So if you go with this Z in this direction and you have the XY plane. Okay. That you can mention. Now you can go with the origin. So this will just change the origin position and you can get back your previous with this one. And now you can choose X as axis for your rotation. Okay, X will be the axis and based on this X axis, the other two will the two axes will be rotated and positioned. Now let's choose X and let me change uh, now you see that X is axis right now as rotation axis and the other two dimensions you can see are rotated and you can change the position and there you can specify the angle, right? And there you see you have made it. This is your XY plane right now. All right. And you can choose Y as rotation axis and as per that you will have your XY plane. So how you will change as per that you will have your model and you can get back your world. So this how you have to set your coordinate planes. This will help you to create any model as per the position and that will be easier for you to create it. So you will save if you change the alignment of your work plane, you will save so many steps that will help you to create it in the exact position and with accuracy and with less time. So that you understood how to align it. Okay, you have to work with these coordinates and you will understand then. Now let me save SW isometric right now and we have some basic geometric shapes. This box, cylinder, cone, these are all your basic geometric shapes. You can create it easily. So box, box is like you can create the first base, the cross sectional, that will be your rectangle or square. So you know how to create a rectangle or square. So first specify the first point and then the opposite corner point. So that opposite corner point can be specified with coordinates and then you will provide the height. That is the simple way. And you can specify it will be a cube or not. So after specifying this first point, you can go with cube and it will be cube. So you'll be just specifying the only one length and you have one cube. You can just be this, make it center. So it will be the total geometric center, the center in each axis. So let me go with the center and then let's specify the center and then the other corner point. And you see from that center, it is taking both equally. It has taken the other corner point and made the other corner point at the equal distance. And when I'm specifying the height, so from that center, it is taking equally in the both direction. So that's how you will create the center. You have cylinder that I have already mentioned. So now let me go with the other options like this 2 point, 3 point, tangent radius things for circle you will find in cylinder as well. So let me go with this TTR and this as the first tangent and this as the second tangent. And you can mention the radius. And as per that, you will have your cylinder radius and then you can provide the height. Okay. And you can make it elliptical as well. So for that you have this elliptical. So for creating ellipse, you have that axis endpoint as a default. If you choose center, so we'll go with the center and then specify the endpoint of one axis and specify endpoint of other axis and then provide the height and then you can create it. Okay, so it's very simple. Okay, just specify the center and then the radius and then the height. So these are some basic geometric shapes are there, so you can easily create it. So this will be the task to create all of this by yourself. And let me know if you find any difficulties creating all of this. Just let me know, I will help you. Now let me show you about this extrude, loft, revolve, and sweep, all this. So these are the tools which will help you to create any 3D model from any 2D diagram. So remember that you had created that uh, baluster, that baluster you had created. So that half portion uh, you can revolve it to create a 3D baluster, 3D model of your baluster. All right, let me go with this extrude option. If I have any 2D diagram that I want to extrude it, so I will go with that extrude option and I'll have it. So let me go with this any shape. Let me create any shape there. Okay, so here I have created this one. And now let me just quickly create one shape with spline. Okay, I will go with spline and fit spline. So let me go with this and let me start from this point and I will off my ortho mode on. You can on the polar tracking and you can choose this 45 or this 15 degree that you can choose. Okay. So we can specify all this point. Let me go with 0.5, enter, and then 0.5 like this way. Okay, let me just quickly close this. And I'll click on close. So that I have selected. And if I go with the extrude for this one, if I extrude it, enter, and you will see that I will create one 3D model with the specified height. So let me go with 2.5 as height. And now let me change it to realistic. And there you see, I have created this one with the simple extrude option. And if I go with the loft, so loft is like placing all the 2D profiles in uh, in Z direction within a specified height, and then attaching all those 2D profiles and creating volume, then converting it as a 3D model. So for that, let me just choose any particular outline. So let me go with the front there, and let me have my front, and then let me just quickly create with the polyline. So here I'm just going with the uh, simple. Okay, so next I'll go with the arc. And now let me just go with this arc there. And then I will go with line. Let me go with the vertical line there. Okay, so that I have. Yeah. And let me close it. Yeah. Now this is done. And now what I'll do, I'll place some circles over there. So sorry. Let me go with the world. And now let me go with this. Okay, some circles I'll place. Let me go with this front view. Okay. Now let me create it. Okay. So now what I'll do, I will create some copy, base point, and then array. And now let me go with 5 number of arrays there. And that's and also for this, let's go with the copy, then specify this as a base point. Let's go with the array and now go with 2 and let me specify the other point there. Just a second. 0.35, enter. Yeah. Now it is done. And now let me just move this. So when I'm selecting, this is called gizmo for transforming, for moving, rotating and scale. This gizmo is used right now. This is move gizmo. Right now, let me with this axis, let me move it. And now let me show you the loft. So I'll select all my 2D profiles as per the order. So this first and then this and then this. And you can see that how it is creating. Okay. And when all your selection is done, press enter. And then you have some options. So it's like as per the path, you can provide if it is there any at any angle or any path it is to be followed, so you can press path. So right now it is cross section only, and if there is any guides are there, so you can choose that guide. So let's go with this cross section only, and right now you have this model. Okay, now you can have this one with this revolve option. So you select it and then press enter, and then you have to specify the rotational axis. So for rotational axis or mentioning any axis, you have to define 2 points, and the direction of the 2 points will define the axis direction. So now this will be the axis. So this is the position for the axis, and this is the direction, and it will be covered in 360 direction. So the revolution will be in 360 direction. So specify 360, enter, and that you have. Okay. And we have sweep option. Okay. So for sweep, let me just provide you uh, some basic examples. So here you can choose helix option. So it is a 2D element. You specify first center, then the base radius, and then the top radius you can specify. If it is the same, so you just press enter, and then the height, you specify the height. And before the height, you can specify how many turns it will be. So you can change the turns 5. So we have more turns, and the turns height. If you want to specify the turn height, you can specify the turn height. Right now it is set to as per the height, it will divide the turn height. Okay, so you can change it later as well. So you can go with control 1 and there you will specify the turn height. Okay, and now let me create one profile for this. So if I have any circle over there, okay, so I'll go with the sweep, and this is going to be swept. This profile is going to be swept. Press enter and then select the sweep path, and that you have. That can be used for creating railings and creating that uh, ceiling. Okay, so let me create that also. So you remember that one ceiling design I have provided you.
Sir, uh, the last circle which was you brought, that was
Mhm.
for the dia of the
Right,
dia line.
right, absolutely right. Okay, now at the front, let me draw it, and now let me align my coordinate with the front view, and let me have the parallel projection there. And here, let me just draw it with the polyline. So I'm just going with the random value. Can define your own. Okay, so let me go with this arc there. Just a second. Let me go with undo. With this arc there, and then the line. Let me close it, and now I have it. Okay, so let me just align them. Yeah. Now I have this one as my profile, and this one will be the path. Okay, so now let's go for sweep. Select this, press enter, and now let's go for selecting this. And there you have this. Okay, I hope you understand. Right.
No, sir, can you please repeat it?
So I have created this. That is the ceiling profile, this sectional profile. Okay, and then you select this one, press enter, and then you select this path, and there you have. Okay,
So this section through all over the this rectangle.
yeah, right. Okay, that you can place at the ceiling, right? And if you change the orientation of this profile, suppose if you mirror this, let me go with this, the space bar, let me go for mirror. Okay, And then if you go for sweep, you will have different. Select this profile, press enter, and then select this path and press enter. And in this direction, you have it. Right? Okay. So I hope it is clear. Now let me show you one more thing.
Sir, for that drawing, I have to
Mhm.
draw this polyline design on the rectangle. May I create this outside of the rectangle and then align it?
So the rectangle will be the inner wall area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that profile I have already provided you.
Mm.
So you can create it.
Okay.
Okay. And now let me go with the sweep and then select it, select this profile, press enter, and then you will be specifying the path. So before specifying the path, you have this scale option. And there, if you provide like 0.75 and press enter, and then select this path, and now you select, you see that you have a smaller dia over there and a bigger dia over there, right? Now let me go with the bigger difference, the scale factor, the bigger difference. Let me go with that. So select this object, press enter, then go for this scale. And now I'll go with bigger difference, 0.3 like, and then I was selecting this object from this top. If I select this object from the bottom, and then you will see uh, from that side, I have the bigger dia, and the opposite side, I have the smaller dia. It's going smaller, and at the end, you have that uh, multiplied 0.3. Okay, so if you compare, so at this end, you have that original dia, and at this end, you have that uh, 1 by, sorry, 3 by 10 multiplied with that original dia.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so, and then what you can do is you can have one cylinder, and just a second, let me draw my cylinder first. Let's go with this. And so let me go with this 2 point if I can draw it. Yeah. And then let's go for the height. And now let me just move this further, move it a bit up. Okay. And then what I'll do, let me hide this for now, hide this object. Okay. And now I'll go with the sweep there. I'll select this object, press enter, then I'll specify this path from the top, and before that I will specify the scale factor. So the scale factor, now let me provide 0.5, enter, and I'll specify the path, and for that I'll select from the top, and that I have right now. And now what I'll do, I will end object isolation. Right now I have this one. Okay, so I will, what I'll do, I will subtract this element from this element. So for that, I have this solid subtract. Okay, so this is the main element. This will be there this will be there, so it will be the main element, so that I'll be selecting it first, press enter, and then it will be subtracted. So I will be selecting it at the last and then press enter. And here you can see, right? Okay.
Okay.
Let me show you again. Subtract, select this main object, press enter, then select this object which will be subtracted, press enter. And right now you have. Okay. Right. And if you want to combine these two as a single element, so for that you have this union. You have this union option. So select it and select both, press enter, and right now this as a single element. So you cannot go for like explode, and you cannot make them separate if they are uh, combined with each other. There is no gap, so you cannot make them separate. But if there is gap, suppose you were making union these two as a single element. Let me go with this union, and you're selecting it and press enter. Right now these two as a single element. And now if you have made these two as a single element with the union, you can make them separate. So you have this separate option. So you are selecting this and exit, just as simple as that. You can make them separate. But if you combine these two objects, you cannot make them separate. Okay. Now let me show you that if you want to see the intersected part, okay, so you can choose these two objects and press enter, and you can create the intersected element. Okay, so these were the intersected part of those two objects. Okay, all right. Now I have this press pull option. So press pull is like, can understand with the name. So it will press the height and it will pull the height, and you can choose any surface. Okay, like this, you can choose any surface and you can pull the height, and in this direction also you can pull the height. So suppose you have one 2D element, and let me go with this offset. I'm going with the random value. And suppose you want to extrude this. So you cannot go with this normal extrude. So it will be like this one will be extruded, and then you have to extrude this one to match this height. And then what will do, you will be subtracting it this as first element, and then press enter, and this will be the inner element. So if it is merged within, so you have to check this selection cycling on, then you can see it, then press enter. You can do it extrude and then subtract, but to save your time you can choose press pull, so that it will select this boundary within this composite area will be selected, and then select it and then give the height, and this boundary will be extruded with this press pull that you can use. Okay, now just see that all the objects we have created, all the 3D elements we have created, and after selecting it, we are getting these gizmos. So at the at the geometric center of each element, we are getting our gizmos. So you can right click on this gizmos and you can change the gizmo to rotate gizmo. So that will help you to easily rotate uh, based on the axis. So your y axis can be the rotational axis. Your x axis can be the rotational axis, and you can choose. So whenever you are defining the axis, you can provide the rotational angle as well. Okay, and if you change the base, so as per the base, it will rotate. So if I specify this as a base point, so based on this base point, it will rotate. So however you require, you choose the base point.
Sir, in rotational gizmo, how we understood that which one axis is the rotational? Means here to here three gizmo, three directions showing that round cylindrical.
That is means you have to understand in that direction it will be rotated.
Okay.
Okay, so if you choose y axis, so around that axis it will be rotated. That is the meaning of rotational axis. Okay, you see, this is
Yeah.
the y line, and around that it will be rotated. And if you choose z direction, so z is the vertical direction, and around that it will be rotated.
Oh, for better understanding.
Okay. Now, you can right click and change it to scale. So you can change the scale factor with this simple gizmo option. So you don't have to type your command and all. So with this gizmo, so you can find it out within this selection panel. You will find out this gizmo. And if you are not getting any gizmo, so that means no gizmo is selected. So if you select it, you will not find out any gizmo. Okay. So that now say that right now is no filter is selected. So that means you are not filtering anything. You are selecting the whole object. So each and every 3D element has different parts. So you have to understand a 3D element by surfaces. It is the combination of all surfaces. And if you divide all the surfaces, so the surfaces are the combination of all the edges. Consist it consists edges, right? And if you understand the edges, if you break down the edges, you will find out point. Those are called vertex for 3D element. So these concept will help you to understand a dynamo as well. So there you will find out these things. So each and everything is the combination of points, even if it is 3D element. So 3D element is the combination of surfaces. Your surfaces are the combination of edges, and your edges are the combination of points or the vertex. All right. So if you place and change all the position of each element, you will have another form of your solid or your 3D element. So that you can choose. So what will be selected? What do you want to select? So if you choose vertex, so right now you can only select the vertexes. So all the corners are the vertex points. So now if I change the position of this vertex point, I have another form of this 3D element. I can choose ages as well. So this age is right now selected. I can only uh, select ages. Okay, I can select only age with this age option, and then you can drag it in. You can change the position, and right now you can see. So that option, if even if you have this no filter option, you can select, you can filter them with holding control. And wherever you place it, you can select that. So if you're placing at the corner, Don't worry about selecting any other element. As per that, holding control, you can filter it and you can select like face. This is solid face. This way you can have it. All right. Now you see that one option is there. Okay. And you go with this culling option. And now you see that the other edges which are hidden, which are not visible from this view, are not highlighted right now. And if I uncheck this, if I hover my mouse, you can see all the edges which are not even visible in this particular view. Right now, if I place my mouse on this at this pre-selection condition, I can see all the edges, right? So if you don't want to see it, just select this culling option. Okay. So it will control all the hidden lines that will be not visible. Okay. So these are the all things for today. If you have any queries, do let me know. I'll solve it. Thank you guys.